All right, let's talk about a fascinating trend that's picking up steam in the radio broadcast world: cloud repatriation. It sounds technical, but it's really about making a huge decision, moving your most important operations out of the public cloud and back onto your own servers. For an engineering manager, this isn't just a tech swap, it's a massive strategic play.
Now, just to give you some context, what you're watching is part 3 of a big 10-part tutorial series. We're digging deep into a fantastic report from Virtualization Options LLC that covers this exact topic. And in this segment, we're zeroing in on the insights from Chapter 3, which is all about the strategy and tech behind this move back on-prem.
You can think of this report as a kind of roadmap, really. It's a practical guide for any engineering manager who's trying to figure out this complex migration. It's all about balancing what the cloud originally promised against the tough, everyday realities of running a live broadcast.
So, to really get why so many are moving back, you first have to understand why they went up to the cloud in the first place, right? The initial pitch was incredibly powerful. I mean, on the surface, it really did seem like the absolute perfect solution to modernize everything.
The appeal was huge, and it really came down to 3 big promises. First, you could slash your capital spending. Instead of buying a mountain of expensive servers up front, you could just pay for what you used. Then there was this idea of elastic scalability. You could instantly get more power for big events, and then dial it right back down. And finally, geographic redundancy, which seemed like a super simple way to handle disaster recovery. What's not to love?
But then came the reality check. You know, what looks amazing in a proposal doesn't always hold up to the split-second demands of a live broadcast. This is where the elegant theory of the cloud started to run into the messy, unforgiving needs of day-to-day operations.
And this slide, well, this is where it gets really interesting. Look at the contrast here. That promise of easy redundancy, it often came with a nasty surprise of costs that would just balloon without warning. The amazing scalability, it ran headfirst into the fact that in broadcasting, you have to be on air 100% of the time. And that lower upfront cost, the trade-off was a loss of direct, hands-on control over your own critical systems.
And this quote from the report just nails the problem. Broadcasting works on a totally different clock. I mean, if an ad fails to play, or way worse, the emergency alert system has a delay, that's not just a glitch, that's a huge deal. You're talking about recovery in seconds, not hours, because dead air is simply not an option.
This chart just lays it out perfectly. If an online store is down for an hour, yeah, that's a problem. They lose some money. But if a radio station is off the air for an hour, that's a catastrophe. You lose listener trust, and you can get into serious trouble. A lot of the general cloud services just weren't built for the kind of instant, no-excuses failover that broadcasting has to have.
So, what's the fix? Is it just admitting the cloud was a mistake? Not at all. The solution is what we're calling a deliberate, strategic repatriation. It's a carefully planned move to get back the total control and rock-solid stability that these mission-critical systems absolutely have to have.
Moving back home, so to speak, means you have to be a serious architect. You're designing for resilience right from the start. We're talking about redundant core switches, so if one path fails, another one kicks in instantly. You're building dedicated broadcast VLANs. Think of it like a private VIP highway on your network just for audio, so it never gets stuck in traffic. And you're using super fast storage that keeps your most played audio ready to go in a flash. No delays.
And listen, this isn't something you do over a weekend. The only way to pull this off safely is with a phased migration. You plan every tiny detail, you move things over one piece at a time, and you test every single step. It's all about playing it safe, making sure there's zero disruption on the air, and giving your team the time they need to get comfortable with the new setup.
So after all this, where does that leave the cloud? Is it the bad guy now? No, not at all. The smartest way forward isn't about choosing sides. It's about building a clever hybrid model that really does give you the best of both worlds. This hybrid approach is really all about strategic placement. You keep your core time-critical broadcast systems, the stuff that absolutely cannot fail, right there on premises where you have complete control. Then you use specific cloud services for the jobs they're really, really good at. It's about creating the most efficient and toughest system you possibly can.
So what does that actually look like? Well, you might use a Cloud Content Delivery Network, a CDN, to get your audio stream out to listeners all over the world super efficiently. You could use Cheapest Chips cloud storage as a massive archive for all your old shows. And you can absolutely use the cloud as an off-site backup for disaster recovery. That gives you that crucial geographic safety net without having to run your daily show from there.
And that right there is the key takeaway. The industry is moving past this simple cloud-first mantra.
The new way of thinking is about making smart, informed choices based on what the technology actually needs and what the business demands. It's just using the right tool for the right job, plain and simple.
And all of this leaves us with one final, pretty provocative thought. In a world that's always shouting, cloud first, maybe, just maybe, for industries where failure is not an option, a control-first strategy is actually the smarter way to go. It's something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.